when people talk about things like cancel culture, for example, I'm sometimes thinking, wait, why are people moaning about cancel culture? What's going on? I thought cancel culture in itself was meant to be fundamentally a good thing. But there's only one catch to it. There's only one problem, just like with anything, right? There is advantages to that particular thing, but there's also limitations to that thing in itself. And cancel culture, the advantages was that it had brought a lot of people to justice and held a lot of people accountable who've done a lot of wrong. But because they held a lot of power, they got away with it. But later on, because of like the cancel culture and Me Too, a lot of these people are being held accountable for what they've done in the past. It doesn't matter what you did in the past. If it's something racist, at least someone should point it out, or like sexual assault or harassment or something. People should be able to point it out. But I feel like there's a lot of people who have not learned from their mistakes, but the problem is though, like I feel like to an extent, some people could make an argument that it's actually going too far. Going too far in a sense that just yesterday I was just laying on my bed and I got a notification from on my phone from like news notification saying that Russell Brand, basically the next person who's been accused of sexual assault, and not only sexual harassment or assault, but the R word, like rape, like which is like the worst of the worst, right? He's been accused of it, but if we're being honest right here, ladies and gents, right, it's very common nowadays to see accusations out of nowhere. Like accusations after accusations after accusations. It's like one celebrity, then it's almost like a domino effect. When one person goes down, another person goes down, then another person follows as well. So it happens in a sequence. But there's also been a lot of instances where a lot of these people have literally been found not guilty in the court of law. But the only problem is that because we got social media, generally the trial happens on social media before there's a real trial in the court of law. And then people make their mind up on whether the person is innocent or guilty. And for the most part, if the person is a man, he's already seen as guilty before he's even proven innocent, despite the cornerstone of our criminal justice system being based on this idea or this concept of innocence until proven guilty. That's not the case anymore, largely because of social media. So we've seen instances like Mason Greenwood's situation. So at the time, I think he must have been 20 or 19 years old. He's a football player, and he plays for Manchester United, a winger, fast. His dribbling skills are second to none. He's really talented. Played for England and all of that. Amazing player, amazing young player with a bright future ahead of him at the time. But there's been an instance where there was an accusation, there was a video or an audio posted on social media where he was asking his girlfriend to lift her leg up or something like that. But a lot of people already made their minds up without the full context of anything. Now, I'm not saying that if he had done anything that's acceptable, but like feel like in this particular society, especially in the particular culture that we're talking about, which is the cancel culture, it feels like people are just their goal or desire is always, oh, someone's career needs to be ruined because of what they've done. Like, oh, this person does something or this person says something bad about a particular group of people, cancel his career. So we've seen that with Russell Brand as well, who's right now in deep trouble. But also we've seen it with the likes of Benjamin Mendy, who had been in prison for a while. He was a former Man City player, and his career was already going well. He's a World Cup winner with France as well. Everything seems to be going well until he was accused of rape by a lot of women. So automatically, if you hear, "Oh, this person's been accused by a lot of people," your default assumption, based on our own biases, would be that he did it because a lot of people made an accusation. But then, regardless of in spite of the fact that a lot of people made the accusation against him, in a court of law, he was found not guilty. But again, the guy spent so long in prison, lost his career, lost a lot of money, lost a lot of wages because of these accusations. But I think we have to set it, we have to understand, unequivocally understand what constitute rape. We have to make a clear definition of it, to be honest. Because some people, someone might grab them, for example, and just grabbing someone, they claim rape. That makes no sense. So there should be obviously there's a legal definition to it, but people don't understand. So they almost make a correlation between grabbing someone to rape. They don't know what they're talking about, honestly. So all these accusations, don't get me wrong, there are people who have done what they've been accused of, but there's also been a lot of people who've had their careers ruined, a lot of people who are sitting in prison because of the fact that they've been accused of something that they have not done. So this the Me Too culture in itself has had a lot of advantages, if I'm being honest. Absolutely, I'm never going to deny that. But also, there's also been a lot of limitations to it. Limitations based on the fact that a lot of innocent people had to go to prison being accused of something that they have not done. A lot of innocent people, mostly men, people have had their careers ruined. The cancel culture kicked in as well, which had advantages, but also disadvantages is that it's a culture that is a culture based on almost witch hunt. It's a culture that's based on witch hunt. So trying to target people, especially successful people who had said something in the past that you don't agree with, and you just want to completely get rid of them or ruin their careers. It's unacceptable, honestly. We need to find a way to be able to be able to deal with these things without having people's careers being ruined for what they've done or for what they've said many years ago. It all depends as well. It depends on the scale or the magnitude of the crime or what's been accused as well, to be honest. But I'm just saying that if someone is going to make a serious accusation, they need to be 100% certain that the accusations that they're making, i.e., rape or sexual assault or harassment, happened. But just like I've mentioned, we've seen a lot of case examples where it never happened. So somebody made an accusation, but it was all bullshit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'll just let a lot of people make their minds up, to be honest, because I've seen a lot of innocent men lost their livelihood. Some men spent a long time in prison because of these accusations. And honestly, it's just absolutely disgusting, in my opinion, to be honest. But I